Good morning. Welcome in. It is Wednesday, January 14th. We are 90 days out from April 14th. The DTD2 this week, you are calling your B's and your E's and texting your S's. And it is contracts all morning. The calendar is action-packed. We're back into the first of the year. We're doing our winter session of Ignite. You can join that class at 9 o'clock. You've got Stacy Sand, or as we affectionately call her, Standy, up in beautiful downtown North Conway. We'll be teaching that class. It's session 5, Generate Your Leads with Stacy Sand. And you can find that at KWikStart.com. That starts at 9. That is digital only. If you're missing those classes, not only chronologically, but emotionally, I understand, you can race over to our learning page. That is on the hub. If you go to KWCLMHub.com, right in the middle at the top, you'll see learning videos. That pulls you over to the YouTubes. On the YouTubes, you'll see all of the Ignites. And then we are refreshing them and updating them with all of these classes. It's that simple. So if you do miss it, and here's my recommendation. Yes, they're recorded. Yes, they are uploaded. Yes, you can watch them later. You will learn better in real time when you can raise your little paw, ask questions, and interact. I promise you this. If your schedule is, and out of convenience, watching it later is your best bet, that's why we're doing that. I promise you this as your friend and your coach. I'm not having our team record these, so they're available for you to watch later, and you're just going to go stare at the wall at 9 o'clock. I'm not saying that's what you're doing. Maybe you are. I just want you to consider you might want to actually be in Ignite live, in person, to learn in real time there. I've exhausted that conversation. I haven't. I'll probably swing back to it before we go. But that's just my point. That is all. We do everything for a reason, but it's live for a reason too. And you can do it from the comfort of your couch. Say hi to Mittens. Tell her she looks great. So that's KWikStart.com, session 5, generating your leads with the Stacy Sand. That is today. Also at 9 o'clock every day, because we have, it's like study hall. We do Fight Club. It's just fighting your limiting beliefs, to pick up the phone, to have the interactions, to make sure you're talking to enough people, letting them know that you're alive and you're here to help. And when the time comes, you could be the real estate person. Conversations, appointments, contracts. Those are the 3 lead indicators that we are on the right track. So where are your numbers? Also, it's Wednesday. We've got commercial contracts at 9 o'clock. That's in Portsmouth and on Keller TV. At 10 o'clock, you have Maine contracts. You got it, in Portsmouth and on Keller TV. And then at 11 o'clock, you have New Hampshire contracts in Portsmouth in person and on KellerTV.com. Now, here's the thing with contracts. Are they on the intertubes? Can you do them from the comfort of your own home? Absolutely. We don't want people to miss out. We do not record them. They are not evergreen conversations. You could trip over a video from contracts in 3 years. And it might be from this Wednesday, or it might be from 4 years ago. We just don't want old contract conversations floating around. So the only thing that we do not preserve for the Smithsonian of real estate are the contracts conversations. Those are in real time, in person or online. So starting at 9 o'clock, you're going to go commercial, and then Maine, and then New Hampshire. And the conversation there can be in person in Portsmouth or on KellerTV.com. There's the track for that. We get to 1 o'clock. You're joining me at timsoffice.com for the midday protocol, where we assess how we're doing. It's the middle of the day. Did you do the next right thing in the morning to make sure you're having enough interactions? That's when we share our numbers. How did I do on conversations in the last 24 hours? How did I do setting appointments? Am I asking the right questions? And then when I get to the kitchen table or the conference table with the buyers and the sellers and the investors, am I having them sign the contract? Am I bringing new business into my business? Those are the questions. Those are the metrics we lead with. And we're also discussing Sean Acor's great book called Big Potential. That's our coaching conversation for the second half of the call. It's 1 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday. And then today at 5:30, you get somebody who's getting ready to take the test to join us in real estate world. There's a study session here in person in Portsmouth. Ashley, our phenomenal assistant team leader, and one of your managing brokers, the Jason. I want to say it's Luke. Luke, I am your broker. Luke Westcott will be leading that conversation. It's a phenomenal opportunity for people that are getting ready for their test. If you have somebody on the precipice of greatness, this might be a great opportunity for them to come and join us. It's about 5:30 p.m. to 7 o'clock. And it's action-packed. It's Westcott. How can you not love it? So there's your calendar for the day. These are the kinds of days that we look at our calendar and we're like, that is like the Cheesecake Factory. And I know it feels overwhelming. And I know people in the past, when I got into the coaching role, I remember saying to my MAPS coach at one point, I'm like, yeah, I tell them to grab a Dixie cup. And she's like, don't do that anymore. Stop saying that. And she cleared this up for me so quickly. Thank God. Fantastic, fantastic coach, by the way. Tammy Richard. She is the better half of our dear friend Mark Richard up in Greater Portland. So if you've ever had the opportunity to sit and have any 2-minute conversation with Tammy Richard, you walk away smarter and better looking. Clearly didn't stick with me, but definitely smarter. She said, our job as leaders, and every one of us is a leader, right? Because there's somebody in the company who's behind you and they're watching you, right? Whether we're leading or not leading, we're leading. So what path are you going to Lewis and Clark for the agent that's watching you? And our job as leaders, when somebody's overwhelmed, she said, you walk up. Yes, it's a fire hydrant. Yes, it's on high. You walk up and you grab them by the shoulders and you move them out of the flow and you let them catch their breath. And then you put them right back in. Nobody did a world tour of the Seacoast or Vermont or any of the brokerages that we compete with in our 4-state footprint. Nobody finished that world tour and said, you know what? I think I'm going to KWCLM. I think that little Market Center 463, they're so underwhelming. I think they're really going to be a great stronghold for mine. But nobody says that. You came here because the menu of services looks like the Cheesecake Factory. It's less fattening. I wouldn't know about that. But you didn't say, I'm going to go to the office that's going to underwhelm me, that's not going to support me, that doesn't have a heartbeat, that doesn't have people in every hallway and offices scattered all over the place and the most talented agents on the marble. You came, you chose us, you hired us as a staff to power your business. And the opportunity every Wednesday, especially during Ignite season, when at 9 o'clock, our market center is going to offer more education. We're going to offer 180 minutes of education because you could be edumacating yourself. There was an M in there. It'll be on the quiz later. You could be in study session. You could be in Fight Club doing what you need to do to build your business and asking questions and learning from your clients. There's 60 minutes there at 9 o'clock. You could go into the first hour of Ignite. And if you're a commercially licensed realtor or you're just curious, you could jump into commercial contracts at 9 o'clock. We're going to be having 3 different learning opportunities. Never mind all the side conversations taking place with all of our great agents all over northern New England. We'll have more education from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. at our market center than most of these. I'm going to be so polite. I promised baby Jesus I would be polite in 26. Then most of these brokerages will do in a month. You know when most brokerages do contracts? They're like, well, we should bring contracts class back because we've had a few people pulled into the commission. They do it reactively. We are learning so we can implement. We are learning because this is a practice of real estate. And I'll say this because I'm an old head. You're going to be out there doing your damn thing this year, and you're going to run into some dinosaur that looks like me with snow on the roof. And they'll be like, I went to contracts back during the Truman administration. And they're going to hold up some form on sheepskin written in blood. And the date at the bottom will be circa 1939. Being a real estate agent is not like being a Cabernet on the shelf. You do not age and get better with age. You can atrophy, and they're atrophying. Those offices are going to atrophy. Those agents are going to atrophy. So when Wednesday hits and you look at the calendar and you know where you should be at 9 o'clock, if you're a commercial agent, you should be in that conversation to help the other people in the room. If you've never attended Ignite, and if you don't have enough appointments in the next few days, there's Fight Club. There's something on the menu at 9 a.m. for every one of us. And that's when we thank our stars that we're at a market center built by an agent, the guy that dug the well, Nathan, who just wanted a playground that he would have loved to play on. That's all he's doing. That's what we're setting out to do every day. Create an environment that gives you zero restrictions inside the parameters of the law, where you can never stretch your arms out and touch the sides, where you will never feel professionally or financially inhibited. Because as our dear friend Ryan Holiday, modern day Stoic, would say in his great book, The Obstacle is the Way, get out of your own friggin' way. You know where you need to be at 9 o'clock. You know what your next right thing is. And those actions that seem minute in the moment are compounding interest for the greatness that you will celebrate a year from next Thursday. Because this coming Thursday, a week from Thursday, a week from tomorrow, we will be at Jimmy's Jazz Club in Portsmouth, celebrating all of our great work. And a year from now, you can change where your name shows up on that chart by helping more people, by doing what you promised yourself you would do when you got here. So open up the morning news, figure out where your face needs to be the version of yourself you promised yourself when you went to bed on New Year's Eve. We'll see you in and around the Market Center and the internet. Have a great day.